Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the Art House. First off, I got a lot of feedback off my last video, and thank you guys. It looks like that got a lot of views. There seems to be a lot of interest in sorcery market discussion, so hopefully there'll be more of that, and there will be. As we get more data points, more things coming up. In my Patreon, I also do a monthly newsletter where I do a recap of all the sales I've done on behalf of artists or through my community consignment, selling sample cards, and then I provide some analysis on my perspective of things. But what I'm finding is that a lot of people are just now discovering the channel, which is great. But I was very surprised to find that a lot of people have never even heard of like the Facebook group that I displayed yesterday. So I wanted to point out, if you go into the description field of every video that I do, I've now set up this Linktree, what is it? Linktree/Collector Arthouse, right? It's a link. It's always in the description. And on here, you see all the platforms, Patreon, my website. Website's a great resource if you guys are new to sorcery and want to see a lot of the artwork. I've done 15 interviews with artists on there, written Q&A. Obviously, on my Collector Arthouse YouTube channel, where you are now, you could find live events that I've done with artists and other folks, other content creators, talking about the game, talking about all topics sorcery, basically, right? The sorcery marketplace, there's an art market, there's a sorcery artist proofs and altars. My Collector Arthouse Facebook group, this is an older Facebook group that kind of predated my discovery of sorcery and my obsession with sorcery. So that was more like broad-based for all of fantasy art, right? And I don't pay as much attention to that now that I'm fully into sorcery. All these other Facebook groups are managed by myself, and I'm very active and post every day, especially in the sorcery community group on Facebook. And we're almost at 1,500 members. So please, if you're finding this video for the first time and you're on Facebook but you're not in that group, please go sign up. And then the Collector Arthouse Discord is a great community for people interested in the game. We speculate, and that's what we're going to do in this video. And I know that fires people up. Some people get triggered. All the bros come out of the woodwork. Cool guys getting upset, saying Penny shows up. Hey, Mike, we can't talk about future releases. Everyone knows that games fail if you don't even have your alpha cards yet. Nonsense like that, right? Dexter, who we've seen in prior videos, even Josh Allen's here today. We got the whole crew. But we need to talk about the future, right? Because it's exciting, and, who cares? We could do whatever we want. Whatever's fun, whatever's a good time to talk about, we're going to talk about it. And, we got some time to kill. The boats are on the ocean, and maybe they're showing up at ports. Maybe they're in customs. I don't know. Maybe we'll get a tracking number any day now. I still think that we're going to see those alpha deliveries maybe late this month, best case scenario, maybe into May, and that's okay too. It's so close. We're here on April 5th. It's a time to be excited, right? So we know that alpha is coming soon. That's the Kickstarter. Some people are asking, how do I get pre-con decks? How do I get alpha product? You can't get it, not directly from the company. There was a one-time Kickstarter. It was print to demand. So we're waiting on that fulfillment. That's the debut release of the game. And then the company has said recently that beta is expected in September, right? So it kind of fits that roughly 10-week timeline or so that they were targeting. We did some interesting polls, which I talked about in my last video. A lot of people are saying, maybe they'll play with their pre-con decks. Maybe they'll keep a lot of product from alpha sealed, and they'll just wait a few more months, I don't know, call it 2, 3, 4 months until they get their beta. And then they'll crack that open. They'll play with the new beta pre-con decks or whatever, right? They're willing to wait. They'll collect beta. They'll do whatever. So, that's typical. When you have a debut release, there's a lot of speculation on Kickstarters. And people are, they invest, they collect, they think about the future. They want to keep some sealed. Some people are sealed product collectors. It is what it is, right? But there'll be a lot flipped. You can't buy direct from the company. But there were nearly 30,000 boxes printed. I think like on order of 27,000 or so that were actually ordered and back through the Kickstarter. So that's going all over the world. By far the largest customer base is in the US. There was pretty strong presence, I want to say, in like Germany and some other European countries, and then other places throughout the world. I know there's Canadians out there, people in France, a lot of great people that I've connected with and talked with you guys through the various Discords, through my various Facebook communities. And now here we are, waiting for alpha, right? And what we know is going to happen is that we're going to get those alpha cards soon. Then September-ish, give or take, we'll see how it plays out. We'll see beta. And then we expect to see our Ethereal Legends. Initially, they said that would happen in 2023. Given the magnitude of delays we've seen on alpha release and, couple months delay, I guess you'd call it, from what we initially thought beta might come out mid to late summer. Maybe that happens in 2023, maybe it doesn't. Could slip into 2024. We just don't know. The company hasn't commented on that since they put the 2023 date out there. What I do know is that the artists are leaning forward. Eric's leaning forward. The design team is leaning forward. As they brought on new employees, they've said that those employees are focused on beta and Arthurian Legends. So they're working out the game design. I know a lot of the art has been commissioned and it continues to be commissioned. It seems like the set after Arthurian Legends, there might be a revised release in there. There's been some discussion of that. But another thematic set that we expect to see potentially after Arthurian Legends could be this heaven and hell, angels and demons type theme, right? And I'll get into why I think that. I think there was some talk of that, hints, clues here and there by Eric and the team in Q&As and, different discussion forums and things like that, right? I don't know that I don't know that for certain, of course. It hasn't been announced by the company. I'm speculating here just like I speculated on Arthurian Legends based on comments from the company and based on some of the artwork we've seen recently. All right, so let's start with paying our dues here to another Facebook group. This is actually one that I do not manage. I'll show you really quick the community group. So go look for Sorcery Contested Realm Community. Almost 1,500 members. We got to get there. I think we're within like 30-ish or so, right? So very close. That'll be a tremendous milestone once we reach that. So please go sign up there. But going back, let's see. Sorcery Contested Realm Original Art Marketplace. Now this is the one source. There are some I almost said the one sorcery group that I don't manage. I manage 5 of them, right? And they're pretty sizable. The biggest one is the 1,500. This one is run by Ryan Knott. He is an admin in this group. Really solid guy that's been in the community since the early days. And he's also a moderator in the Sorcery Contested Realm buy-sell trade marketplace that I set up recently. And we have about 300 people in there, which is pretty strong after only a couple weeks, So that'll be a good, vibrant marketplace where everyone can buy, sell, and trade. But Ryan uncovered some gems here recently. I'm going to go down, and back in December, let's start here, right? There was this artwork. It says, looks like there's a new painting from Adam Burke for a future sorcery set. Loving the evil on this. All right, so Adam posted this on his website, and he sells out really quickly. He's becoming a very popular sorcery artist. I think we've seen 2 or 3 of his cards that have been confirmed for alpha. There might be a few others, but this is one we expect to see in a future set. Doesn't look to me like that's Arthurian Legends. So I'm thinking this fits an Angels and Demons or Heaven and Hell type set. And I'm going to coin that Ethereal Inferno because I don't think Eric, being a meticulous guy and a super creative type, is just going to go with something super simple like Angels and Demons or Heaven and Hell. It's going to have some flavor, so I'm just going to call it Ethereal Inferno, EI. All right? So that one is from December. And then just recently, and this sold out within 30 minutes, there was 2 artworks. Look at this one. This is, God, my face is in the way. Why didn't you guys say something? This isn't live. I'm improvising. All right, so let me shrink myself up there. This one was revealed and sold by Adam Burke. These were kind of leaked, these shouldn't be, artists shouldn't be selling artworks until they're formally announced. So I think this kind of slipped through the cracks. So I think it's, it's public domain now. It's fair game to talk about. So we had that one. And then we had this awesome artwork. And this one is called, I think it was called Barlow or something like that. And you have this big beast just coming down the stream, about to smash these little guys crossing the stream. So this one looks super cool. And, thematically, it looks like there's some similar things that are pervasive through here. We have those guys crossing the stream. We got these little undead guys kind of walking the bridge into the void or whatever that is. And then back to this one, there's several undead here, right? So maybe this is like a necromancer theme or something. I don't know. I seem to think it's has something to do with EI, Ethereal Inferno. But we'll have to see about that. The other reason I say that is if you go to the collectorarthouse.com website, right, and you go to sorcery cards. So a few things to point out. You can go look at cards by all of the artists. Here's their beautiful mugs, and you click on any of the artists, right, and it'll jump to all of their cards. The other option is, if you hover under Sorcery cards, you can go to all cards, cards that are unconfirmed for alpha. That means that they were previewed or shown at some point in the past, but they were not in the latest tabletop simulator update. So we don't know. They're unconfirmed for alpha, right? And some since then have been confirmed, and I wrote an article about that, which I could show you in a little bit. But there are a couple other categories. We have the avatars, sites, fire spells, air, water, earth spells, artifacts, tokens. So you got it all there. All of the stuff that's confirmed for alpha is in these folders and in the artist folders. So if we go to all cards and we start going down by theme, what I think is happening here is that we have this great breadth and depth of artwork across the game. And I think they're planting thematic seeds for future releases. And you could see just in some of the bundles of themes, or like, I guess like where you see a few examples of a certain theme, you can envision the expansibility into a future set release. Excuse me. And I think it's a tell, just like Arthurian Legends. There was a card called Holy Grail by Tony Sudlow that seemed perfect for Arthurian Legends. There was a Knight artwork by Brian Smith that I recently sold. And that has a very heavy Arthurian Legends lean, right? So if we go through here, you could kind of imagine what things might fit a Heaven and Hell theme, right? And it's all categorized by artist. Of course, these are all in the alpha sets, but there's some darker art, right? And here you have Angel's Egg. What spawns from an egg? Other angels, right? An elite relic of seraphic transfixion. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but obvious lean towards angels, right? Ethereal. You have Devil's Egg. So the opposite end of the spectrum, you have a devil theme, right? And there's many examples of this. Certainly any of Brian Smith's artwork has that darker undertone. Another comment that Eric has made is that some artists, most of the artists will return to do future work, and they've already been commissioned to do so, right? But they might not return for every set. So he's going to fit them in where it makes sense thematically. So maybe Brian Smith might not have work for Arthurian Legends beyond the couple we saw that seemed to fit. Maybe he's working on something beyond that. And he hasn't told me that, but it just seems logical, right? Going with a darker theme, he would fit. A lot of the artists would fit for the angelic or ethereal side of the equation, I believe. So that's just some speculation. Going down, certainly Seagrave sometimes has that darker tone. He's a heavy metal album cover artist, is his claim to fame. So some of those fit, and some have come and gone that have been revealed. But as we go down through here, let's see. I'm not sure. Maybe Nightmare from Drew. There's some tighter correlations. When we get to Jeff Menges, I think we will see that. Let's see. So yeah, nothing's immediately jumping out. You got the Rest in Peace. That could be a darker, hellish type theme. But there's better ones. Frazetta, Death Dealer. That's going to be an alpha. That could plant some seeds. It'll be interesting to see if we see more Frazetta in the future. Obviously everyone would love to see that. He's such a legend. But coming on down, let's see here. Okay, so we're in Jeff's section. There's this card, Pact with the Devil. Devil theme. You right? Slam dunk. So that's planting some roots. Let's see what that card does. Unique magic commands a heavy price. Sacrifice the caster or lose half your life rounding up. If you do, draw 3 cards. Card draw. It's a unique. That's a very powerful magic spell card, right? So that fits. I mean, think about this artwork in the context. Oh, my face is in the way. Think about that artwork in the context of the Adam Burke paintings that we just saw. Those are for a future release. They are most likely not alpha unless he just leaked them at the 11th hour right before release. I don't think it makes sense. I think he had sold all his alpha paintings. I think those are going to be for a future set. You have some nice work here by Jesse Pilkis. Certainly some of those could fit. Just going off of titles, you got Occult Ritual, Summoning the Dead again. When we get, here we go, Evil Presence, Liz Danforth. Let's see, Planar Gate. I don't know. Does that have an ethereal aspect? Could be. I think certainly in some of Severin's artwork, Marta could fit with this. Pristine Paradise. She would do beautiful work for like an angelic or heavenly type landscape for Atlas cards. I would love to see that. We're speculating, guys. We don't know for sure. So we got Matthias Frisk, Mortality, solid. Minor Explosion, Scourge Zombies. Matthias, slam dunk. Him and Dan Seagrave, that's going to be a great dark theme. Let's see. Blood Ravens. So we got Mikhail Nagy Paul, jack of all trades. I mean, master of all trades. He's incredible. He could do anything. Summoning Sphere, an exceptional aura, ushers in a dark era. We're ushering in a dark era of Ethereal Inferno. All right, let's see. Anything else that jumps out? Severin, everything she does is majestic and beautiful. The iconic Philosopher's Stone. We got the Silver Valkyries, Elite Angels, hold constant vigil. Planting Seeds, guys. Sleep, that's just a beautiful one. Death Speaker, so you have expansibility in an avatar here, potentially from Tony Sudlow. He has several darker pieces, Recurring Spectre, Raised Dead. I mean, I think the writing's on the wall. Look how many examples there are just across artist categories. Spire Lich, an exceptional undead towers above. There's many examples. Oh, look at that. I guess my page didn't fully load. All right, so I think we saw enough there. The other thing I wanted to point out, if you go to the interviews and articles page, there's a lot of great, interesting, it sounds a little conceited to say great, interesting articles that I wrote that I happen to find interesting. Hopefully you guys do too. But I did one on curio cards, right? And I think there's a tell in here. I asked Eric very early on in a Q&A he did ages ago. It's on YouTube. You can go find it. And I think it might actually be referenced in this article. It was either this one or a different one, right? It was in the Arthurian Legends one. I have a couple links where he talked about the Arthurian Legends theme and Knights of the Round Table he did with an interview with Rands, who's the guy that runs that channel. And that was a very good interview. So he kind of tipped his hand to Arthurian Legends. That's how I kind of put 2 and 2 together on that one. But in this one, in this early Q&A, I asked him who are the top 3 artists that he would love to work with, right? He named Frazetta. I think at that time it had already been announced, so he was very excited about that. He named Wayne Barlow, right? So I did some digging, and I found this card. And he showed this in Discord. This is a screenshot from it. And it says, here's an uber old school look and card design. So from the very early days of Sorcery, when he was playing with like a Magic Gathering fundamentally type game mechanic construct, he was building cards like this. And this is an example of it. You see like the mana's similar, how you would see in like a Magic card, somewhat comparable. The large text box that covers half the artwork, ironically. And the Wayne Barlow artwork. So I went to Wayne Barlow's website and I found this artwork. And it dates back several years. I think Eric might own that painting and perhaps he commissioned that one. I don't think I ever asked him that specifically. So I never actually confirmed it. But this is the actual painting. And look how sick that looks. That is awesome. So he called Wayne Barlow one of his dream artists to work with. He said he didn't know how likely it is and thought it was unlikely, but you never know. I mean, this game has a lot of momentum, a lot of steam, and maybe he'll pull it off. And there was another one. There's a few others that he's mentioned from the heavy metal album cover world, old school 1990s era D&D, MTG era. So, that's pretty interesting. That's another tell, I think. Wayne Barlow would be a slam dunk for that set. I'd love to see that. Going back to interviews and articles, just take a look through here, guys. I won't go through it all, but here you see, like, there's so many different artist interviews. Andrea Modesti, incredible artist. Vincent Pompetti, Brian Smith, Matthias Frisk, Kyle Calzans, Jeff Menges, Alan Pollock, Truett Parrish. And there's several more above that, right? I skipped over Heidi Talifer. She's been confirmed for a future set. I think we're going to see her work in Arthurian Legends for the first time. Marta Molina, Elvira Shakarova, the King of the Realm. It's all here. There's a lot of great content. Oh, and Gadu Duaso, the one I just did recently, right? So many interviews, some interesting articles covering the history of sorcery, some speculation type things. A nice resource about all of the provenance of sample cards as we know it, and the one article, here you go, about Arthurian Legends. I guess I'll just close with this. Here's the link where I talked about where he kind of tipped his hand to this Knights of the Round Table or Arthurian Legends theme, and also in the CCG History YouTube channel, which I think Rand's rebranded the name of that. But if you click on that, that's still live and active, and that'll take you to that great interview. And that's definitely worth a look. I think that's probably one of the best interviews that's been done with Eric to date. I hope to get him on the channel. I look forward to the opportunity to do that, maybe after release. I know he's super busy right now, but I do have the written Q&A with Eric on here. But again, you're looking at www.collectorarthouse.com. Go check out the link tree. Join the community groups. Thanks to all of you guys that have subscribed to the channel, that have joined the Sorcery community group. It's really called the Sorcery Contested Realm community group on Facebook. Almost 1,500 members. Let's get to that 1,500 milestone, then we'll celebrate. It's going to be a release party once we have a box to open. There's going to be many more boxes open. I won't be one of those people that hoards them all. I hope to do a lot of openings and have a lot of fun with all of you, discovering the cards for the first time, hitting the Philosopher's Stone in a pack, and all the other amazing artwork by the tremendous artists in this game. They're all special. The foils are going to be amazing. The full art on the back of the foils are going to be incredible. And the curio cards, discovering those for the first time. All right, so that's all I got for today, guys. Nice, short, little 21-minute video. Thanks for hanging in there. Please spread the word on Sorcery, and I hope you have product in your hands soon. Take care.